just coming off that tough home loss to West Virginia. And I told our guys yesterday, we were in a meeting, I said, the thing I really liked is just how hard we competed and how hard we played. And we had our opportunities, and when you play a good football team, you got to take advantage of everything, and you just can't give up the big plays. When you look at third down on defense, have to get off the field. We had to be able to convert the third downs on offense, but you had we were able to create 4 turnovers. But, all in all, just very pleased. Just you don't ever want to say it was never more victory. It hurts. It still hurts right now because you just let a game get away from us. But now we got to go to Lawrence and take on Kansas, and it's it's one of those teams that's been struggling, and we have no reason to get complacent. We have no reason to think we're better than them. We just have to go in, and we have to get to a bowl game, and we have to play well. We got to play well on the road. We, coming off the win there at Texas Tech, but we're going on the road again, and we just need to take care of business.
Hey, Coach, can you tell us anything about Malik and his status?
Malik, he's still going through the concussion protocol, and our trainers are really monitoring him and just don't really, right now he wasn't able to do anything on yesterday, so we're just going to watch him as it develops through the week.
Coach, how difficult is it? You went to Kansas 2 years ago. How difficult is that place to play because of the lack of crowd, the lack of enthusiasm there, and how difficult is it for a team to get up for a game, especially against a team that's 1-8 or 1-9?
Well, what I tell them, Bob, is that we have to, as coaches, we're the one who have got to provide enthusiasm. We got to get them up and get them going. It's a good thing it's at 2:30, and we have to move them around. And I always tell our players, I say, you always feel like people are coming to watch you play, so how many people are there, it doesn't really matter. Just making sure that we put on a show and perform well and go play well.
Here on the left, John. Coach, how close do you think your team is to playing consistently like you feel they're capable of doing?
You look at that game on a Saturday, John, you felt like, we had our opportunities and we just didn't make the plays at the right time and didn't stop them at the right time. But, you look at the stretch and we just got to continue to play. It is all about just being consistent. You felt like you played well at Texas Tech, then you had the Baylor win, and then you just let this one get away from you. But it does have to be consistent, and you have to, when you're playing a really good team, that's what it's all about, where somebody's just got to step up and make plays.
All right, Chip.
Charlie, you're obviously in a, seemingly precarious situation at 5-5, and what's your impression of what needs to be done to ensure that you're back next year and the program keeps moving forward with you?
Well, we just got to take this one, Chip, and go win this football game, and then we have TCU after that. But we can't look down the road and just to continue to take them one at a time, and then just continue to improve and get better and win games.
Charlie, following up on that theme, however, the losses are mounting again. If you were in a job evaluation, what would you be saying? What would you be pointing to right now to say, I have the program trending in the right direction?
Well, Jim, I just look at just how we're playing, and then I don't ever make excuses. There's no excuses. The losses are mounting, and it's games that we should win, and we had our opportunities there, and we didn't win them. But it's still you still have a football team that's still competing, still playing hard, and that's what you like to see happen. You look at that game there on Saturday. We're down 17-3, and we battled back. You're down 24-13, and you battled back. So you still have guys that are competing and playing hard.
In the middle, Steve.
Coach, just on Saturday in the locker room or in the interview room, it seemed like the kids were really disappointed. They looked like instead of maybe hoping they'd win, they kind of expected to win that game based on what y'all had been through the last couple of weeks. Is that a change do you see the change in the kids at this point?
What you really see now, Steve, is that you watch when we compete now, when we play, it's one of those when guys walk into a game, they expect to go win the football game. And like the one on Saturday, it hurt. And it hurt them big time because they know that we let one get away from us. But it just, overall, you just like just how competitive they are now. And just how much pride. It's all about pride. And it's just how much pride that they have within themselves and within the program.
Up front, in the middle, Brian.
Charlie, going back to what Jim and Chip were asking, do you have any sense that Greg understands and sees the things that you see, that there are positive things out there beyond what it says on the scoreboard?
Well, I think that everybody does, Brian, and I think that, you know, our president, he'll take a long look at it. And, you know, we just got to still finish out. We still have 2 games left, so let's just go finish out those games and just see where we are at the end of the season.
Charlie, are you certain that the past struggles on the road will not manifest in Kansas, especially with the possibility of a letdown after such an emotional loss?
You know, said I don't know. You know, there's no reason we should have a letdown at all. You know, we're trying to get to a bowl game, and we need to get one win to get there, and that we deserve. Our seniors deserve that, and I don't think our guys will have a letdown. It's all about this. It doesn't matter who we play, and knowing that, you know, they have the record that they have, but we still got to get better ourselves, and we still got to improve, and we need to show that, you know, we can go on the road and win another football game, and then come back home and get ready for the next one.
Charlie, Holton Hill played pretty well against Tech. We didn't see him this last weekend. Is there anything you can tell us about his status going forward?
No, Rick, it's just a matter of, you know, we have so many defensive backs that we're rotating in, and it was our dime package. We didn't get to play a lot of our dime package on Saturday because what we went with Saturday, you were with Boyd, and you were with 9 on Saturday, and they played pretty well. But, you know, with those defensive backs, we just continue to roll them.
Coach, most of the losses previously, all the questions have centered around what happened with the defense, but the defense played pretty well despite letting up some third down conversions. How confident are you in that unit going forward the rest of the season?
Well, we still have to improve on defense, and third, like you just said, third down's an issue. We got to get off the field on third down, and whenever you bring pressure, you got to get to the quarterback, and you have to be able to win some one-on-one battles. And so defensively, it's always just an improvement each and every game when we go out, because we have to make stops and we have to get the ball back for our offense, because I feel like if we get the ball back for our offense, we're going to be able to generate points.
On the right, Chip.
Charlie, you did get the ball back for your offense on Saturday against West Virginia, made big stops in the 4th quarter. Are you concerned about the offense right now and its inability to, you know, sustain drives? You had the ball, 5:25 left at your own 41. Pretty good field position right there. I mean, what are your concerns about the offense right now?
You know, Chip, I really don't, because we've been playing well on offense, and, you know, what happens, you face a really good defensive team, and it is a very balanced defense that could bring a lot of pressure, but just offensively, you know, we made a throw, and the one throw he made got Dorian down the field, and then it's just, you know, with the routes, they sitting on some of the coverages. I mean, they sat down on some of our routes with their coverages, but I have no concerns with our offense. I know that we can score, and we'll be able to score at any time. You know, you throw the one down there, and even the one that bounced off, I wish that Duvernay had been standing in the right spot, because it reminded me of the game last year against Texas Tech. It almost came back to him, and they wouldn't have called him. But we just we know what our issues are. We get it corrected. You know, we can't break down with the quarterback. We can't give up the pressures on and get him hit. And we just got to protect him and then give him a chance to release the ball.
Over here on the left, Danny.
Charlie, what's your overall philosophy on fielding kickoffs and, you know, fielding them in the end zone, and why hasn't this team has seen more success on its returns?
Well, what you like to do, Danny, is when the ball is kicked, you know, 2 or 3, just leave it down there, because we're going to get the ball on the 25-yard line. But a lot of times they think the seam is open up, and it's the off-returner's, his judgment to bring the ball, you know, give the returner a chance to bring it out. But it's a matter of guys just stand on blocks. You know, one or two, if we just block one guy, you're going to have a chance to get a big return on it.
Middle, Bob.
Coach, do you feel like Deontay has secured his place in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony? And on top of that, what will be the discussions with him about how you go about it with him returning next year or not, deciding to go pro?
You know, I would feel like that with 1,600 yards now, with the 2 games left to go, and he's played very well. And if you think about with him returning, you know, I always tell them, you know, it's a family decision. They need to sit down, but I will offer my advice and my opinion when it comes to that point. But, you know, they'll make the right decision, but he's played very well. And we'd love to see him, you know, get that invitation to go.
Yeah, Charlie, Kansas only won 1 game. Do they do anything at all that worries you or concerns you?
Well, you know what happens, Gert? You just can't walk in there just feeling like, hey, we're just going to go in and dominate this team, and then the guys get overconfident, and then they, you don't ever want to walk into, especially in somewhat home stadium, and just feel like we're going to dominate that game. We haven't played well on the road, so we need to go in with at the right frame of mind, with the right attitude, and we just need to go in and just go play. And not worry about Kansas, just challenge ourselves, and we need to play better and play at our top potential.
Back right, Alex. Charlie, I know Deontay's obviously putting up astronomical numbers, but where would this offense be without Shane Buechele?
Well, you have to have a quarterback, and it's the quarterback that gets our offense going, and you have a really good run game. But the thing that Buechele can do, because people, if they load the box, he can make the throws and get the ball in the right guy's hands. And he's done a great job of distributing the football to different receivers. But he's a silent leader. Guys really respect him, and guys know how important it is. You saw when he went down out there on Saturday how. It's just everybody standing on the sideline like, get up. You got to get up, Buechele, because they know how important he is and how much he means to this offense.
Middle, Jim.
Charlie, you had another kick blocked. Cost you some pretty important points there in the second half. Did some old problem resurface? Was that just a special play by the defender? And is there a possibility you open that position up, given you've had a few blocks?
No, you know what happened, Jim? It just never took flight, and it was just one of those low kicks. And even the guy, he never jumped; he just put his hand up. But but we're not going to open it up. You have 2 games left, and the thing about Trent, he can hit those kicks, and he said himself he just didn't hit it right, and it just came out and got blocked.
Stay in the middle, Chris.
Yeah, when you arrived here initially, what were your initial conversations with Armani and Deontay like, and what did you say to them to kind of get them to stay on board?
When I arrived, well, first thing I did when I went to Texas City to see the 2 of them, we knew who Amani was because he was the everyone wanted Amani, so Deontay was kind of he wasn't left out, but he was just a twin brother that everybody was going to take. But after having a conversation, you knew that Deontay was going to be on a mission, and he wanted to prove to everybody how good he was. And I think that they came up here and ran in the Texas relays, and I think he anchored the relay team, Deontay, so you knew he had some speed of a big old guy like that could go anchor the relay team. But the 2 of those guys, they feed off of one another. They work very hard, and you just like just their overall attitude of both of them, just how they would about this whole season.
Did you view him in the same way as the other brother that everybody was going to take when you showed up there?
I'm sorry?
Did you view him as the other brother that everybody was going to take when you went up there?
Well, we didn't have a chance to see him that much. I know that he had played a little quarterback in high school, a little running back, and then I just said, hey, you can play running back, and then we'll see what happens. And you just never know in the recruiting process how someone is going to turn out.
Back middle, Anthony.
Coach, I don't know if you saw it, but how sweet was it to see Earl down there congratulating Deontay, and Deontay was really humbled by that. And where do you see Deontay in the history and legacy of all these great backs here, Coach? He's making a name for himself.
Well, when you see Deontay, and then you think about Earl, you think about Ricky, you think about Jamal, you think about all these great backs that played here, and then that he has a chance to just follow in their footsteps. And the thing about it, he's very humble, and he respects every one of those players, and he knows this, that that way was paved a long time for him, and he's just now getting a chance to go and play in all those footsteps, and he's doing a really great job with it. And to see Earl congratulate him was really special.
Middle, Jeff.
Charlie, DeAndre Christmas, it seems like when he's been on the field, he's been disruptive. Is he a guy that's starting to earn more reps the more he's on the field? It seems like he produces when he's out there.
Well, we just rotate him, Jeff, and, Christmas come in and get some plays, and he does. When he's out there, he does play well. But, with that defensive front, it's just guys that you just try to keep fresh because people are throwing the football and just try to get them all in there and get as many as you possibly can. But when he's in, he is productive.
Charlie, when you look at this team, do you see a team that's earned its 5-5 record, or do you see a team that maybe deserves a better fate in the record department?
Well, I'd love to say, Chuck, that we had our chance to play better early and we didn't, and it could have been better than what it is at 5-5. And like the game there Saturday, and then you look at us early with our early struggles. But we're 5-5, and I could have said it. There's probably 2 or 3 that we let get away from us.
Charlie, thinking about you as defensive coordinator, you said prior to the Oklahoma game that you could get right back in there and do it. But I wonder, now that you had some games, did you have to knock some of the rust off a little bit and calling defensive plays? And now do you feel like you're more back in the groove?
Well, if I could have that game back, I'd love to have it back because Oklahoma was my first one. But, it takes – you have to get in a rhythm, and you got to create a rhythm, and you just got to get a feel for the game. And it's like with every game, like even like Saturday, it's just like you bring pressure, and we weren't getting there, then you back off, and then we don't get there. But it's more of a rhythm, and you just got to, be able to – just change it up, show them some man, show them some zone. The one time we was bringing pressure, then we go too high, and then Dylan gets an interception. Forces him thinking he's got man, the ball's thrown down. But it's one of those games where you have to have the rhythm, and you just got to feel what the offense is doing, and you got to be disruptive.
Charlie, we didn't see the 18-wheeler package on Saturday. Is that permanently shelved? Because there were plenty of opportunities for it, obviously, Saturday.
No, it isn't shelved. And Sterling and I was even talking about that, and he said, probably 1 or 2 times we probably could have went with it. But no, it isn't shelved. But you'll see the 18-wheeler package.
Back, Andrew. Coach, all the players have talked about how awful Christmas was last year for them, sitting out and not watching that bowl. How much have you seen them talking about that in recent weeks, and how much is that still a motivating factor for them?
Well, they want to get to a bowl game. I think that's the motivating factor for them. And it was, when you sit home and you watch other teams play and you feel like you're good enough to be there, and then you're not there. But with these 2 games left, I think we're going to find a way to get us to a bowl game because the seniors deserve it. And just the way this team has played, they played hard enough where they should get there.
Coach Colin Johnson has really come on strong these past 2 weeks. What kind of development have you seen from him during practice that has helped him rise?
Colin has just outstanding size and speed. I mean, he can catch the ball, made a guy miss and goes in for the score. But you can just tell it. You can see his progression just week by week, and the more he played, just the better he got. And that's what's happening to him now. And plus, he's getting the touches, and so you're seeing really good results.
Coach, this time of year, are you still installing things as far as defense and offense, or are y'all just kind of honing things that y'all learned at this point?
Well, what you try to do now, Steve, because you play so many games, if you see something that you feel like you can use or go take it, then you will install it. But a lot of it now is just where you just take what you have and just, hey, it's just repetitive, just over and over, and just continue to do it over and over. And even with the defenses, I mean, we're not doing much. We're just taking it, week by week, knowing we had to improve and we had to get better. And offensively, same thing with the play calling. But if you see something that they're going to give you, then you will put something in to try to match it. But other than that, it's more now to where you just get guys to just make sure that it just, it becomes second nature for them. You like for it to become second nature for them. You call a blitz now, they don't really have to think about it. Hey, I have the A gap, run through the A gap. You don't need to jump in the B, just take the A. And then it's because you continue to do it over and over and over.
And Charlie, the defense seems miles better since you took over. How will you evaluate that position, coordinator position, at the end of the season? And could you see yourself being the play caller for all of next season?
You see it's wearing me out. No, it's not. No, it's it has. I don't know how much better we've gotten. It's one of those where it's just the accountability is there, and you don't, where secondary we can't allow the ball to get thrown over our head. Front we got to get off of blocks and make plays and not let people rush for 200 or 300 yards. But it's accountability factor with everyone, coaches involved, and it is a rhythm. When I was talking about a while ago, play calling is a rhythm, and I always like to, I want to get the offense back on the hill. So I want to come with just, try to give them a mix up with each series and just see. And then some things I hold for the second half, and I'll give it to them the first half, and then, hey, second half we're going to put this in, guys. So you guys get ready. I'm gonna call this a lot. And with me, sometimes I call the same defensive call 4 times in a row. If you don't block the corner blitz, you're going to get it. If you don't block it, you're going to get it. If you don't block it, you're going to get it again. And because it's successful, so just keep doing it. But it's you just got to feel comfortable doing it. And it's I haven't thought about it at the end of the year, just what we may do, but we have to do something.
Charlie, about your defensive front, is there one or two of the freshmen that you think has really come on and could be a star eventually?
Well, I think that Malcolm Roach could really be a star, and the thing about him, he plays so hard, and he plays with so much energy, and you just watch him play. I always say this: just give me Hager on one side and give me Roach on the other side, and I know something is going to happen. It's going to be good for us. Sometimes it may be bad, but it's going to be a collision, and someone is going to get hit. And then inside, Christmas is coming on. Wilbon is coming on, but. When you look at that freshman group, a lot of those, they're getting a lot of reps, and it's fun to watch that young group go out there and go play.
All right, Chip.
Charlie, it seemed like the offense really struggled to adjust to the run blitzes that West Virginia was sending in the second half. Why wasn't the offense able to adjust to that? And do you go over to Sterling in that situation and say, hey, let's try this? Or
You know what happened, Chip, they's bringing pressure so they's bringing the safety, so we got to kick out. So now you got to extend all the way out because they're trying to bring 2 off the edge, and we weren't kicking all the way out. We were just sitting there, and then they was trying to bring the safety and then to bring a backer, and we was getting locked on the backer instead of kicking out because we had the backer blocks and we had the running back in the tight end. And so it could have been an easy adjustment for us. And, they kept bringing it. And like I said, if you just keep running until they block it, and we didn't do a good job of blocking it. But we had enough in the box to block it.
Charlie, you talked about the block field goal and then mentioned, there were a couple times where Sterling felt you could have used the 18-wheeler. The short yardage situations, there's a couple, 4th and shorts where you decided to kick a field goal. When you go back and review it on Sunday, how much do those things, do you second guess them or think about what you could have done differently? And how much do domain struggles, how much does that impact those kind of decisions going forward on the 4th and shorts?
It's always easy to second guess, and what I'm always looking at is, hey, we got to get points. We're down, and even a kick before half where we're going in, I think it was right before halftime is 9 seconds, and I said, it's 4th and 2, and I said, even if we go for it and you get the first down, you're not going to have enough time. We had no timeouts. I said we won't be able to line up and run another play because we weren't going to be able to kill it. So I said, no, let's take points and let's go down. Let's go in at halftime, 17-13. We're only 4 down now, so we have to take those points. But usually, if the kicker is struggling, I usually go for it and just see where we are. And always the field position is going to always come into play when I'm deciding, hey, it's 4th and whatever. Hey, and I always pop in and say it's 3rd down and say, hey, listen, you got 2 plays to get the first down here. And so the offense knows right away how many plays they have.
Got time for 2 last ones. Start with Danny on the left.
Charlie, I'm curious how you and your staff kind of handled your locker room last week. Sure, with everything that happened on Tuesday, there were a lot of kids on both sides, opinionated young men who had different opinions. How did you guys kind of handle that and not let that become a distraction?
Danny, it's just something. You're talking about the election. I don't want to talk about that now, but we'll talk about it some other time.
In the past, this team wasn't able to come back from early deficits. You talked about them coming back down 17-3. They also learned how to win on the road against Tech. Where have you seen this team grow when facing adversity?
Well, what's been great, Claire, is that you just see a team now, it's more about pride for them. It was a time where you take those big hits and we weren't able to recover. But now we're able to just battle back because they have so much confidence. And like our defense feels like this: if we go make a stop, then our offense is going to go get a score. And that's what. And even on Saturday when we drove the ball there at the beginning and we only came away with a field goal, they was looking for touchdowns, but they kept saying, "Hey, we just keep getting the ball back for our offense. Eventually, we'll get us a score." And that's more of just the belief in one another now, the trust that they're beginning to develop in one another, and it is. And pride is a big factor in all of it.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.